the ropes. You never wanted that publicity.
Now here we go. Here we go. Back in the building here. Don Boy 718. Just wanted to let y'all know what it is. We're gonna start off a little different. Get to the NBA Finals a little later. But for right now, we're gonna go on, talk about the NHL. How many of y'all knew that hockey was started by some brothers back in the day? Oh yeah. Hockey was started, I believe it was 1895, and it was did by some folks that was actually trying to do something after church. Yep. I know that's kind of weird. You say, okay, well, how did hockey start after church? You know what I mean? But these were some people that actually they had to take some time. I think it was 1895. You have to do some researching, and this is something that was going on for a while. It was an all-black league, all black. All of the players were black, first of all. I don't know how many of y'all know, but this was since 1895. 1895, and this right here, it changed what hockey looked like. They changed what hockey looked like nowadays. However, if you look or take a chance to check out how hockey actually developed, it was a group of black Canadian individuals and intellectuals, churchmen of the time, and they looked at the sport and saw the same thing and decided that this was something that they can use, to kill time. Like I said, and they started their own league, the Colored League of the Maritimes, which existed for quite a while. It was killed off by white businessmen, white business interests, as a result of its short lifespan. So now you know where the NHL and everything hockey related actually derived from, for those that do not know. So when you say, oh, this sport and this, that, no, you have to look at the history of things. In 1895, this was something that was created, as I say, by these brothers, the Maritimes in Canada, something for them to do after church and after work. And the most famous of the founders is a Trinidadian teacher by the name of Henry Sylvester. Remember that name, Henry Sylvester. So when you think of hockey, you don't think of Mark Gretzky or Mario Lemieux. You're going to think of Henry Sylvester. And with the NHL right now, in the current state, there's been so much going on in the playoffs. You've seen the disappointments and the surprise attacks that's been happening. The Vegas Golden Knights, I don't believe they were favorites in the beginning. However, they became favorites because of their cast, and Jack Etchell is doing what he's supposed to do. Now, who expected the Florida Panthers to start really interrupting the league? The Florida Panthers, coming into the playoffs, were not expected really to get past the Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins and Austin Matthews and the guys, I think they were actually playing really hard and had a great season. They had a historic season. These dudes, they went and won, 63? 63 games and such, and that actually made things a little bit more difficult on that end. 63 games is a lot to win, you know, especially at a time. 63 games is not easy to take on at all. Should I just tell you? What happened was these guys were led into the league, and they were brought up believing that they were going to just, I guess, be taken out a certain way, but they came with the fire and the ambition to keep on going. The whole state of Florida has just been nagging, really to tell you the truth. The whole state of Florida, if you look at it in the playoffs, from the NBA playoffs to the NHL playoffs, and even with baseball starting right now with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, the way they started 11-0, there is something in the Florida air. I don't know if Governor Ron DeSantis started giving out bonuses or extra governmental supplements or something, or rewards for positive behavior, but these Florida teams have been killing it and doing their thing lately. They've been surprising teams. They've been surprising. They've been coming from the bottom and getting busy. You have the Miami Heat, who was in the play-in in the NBA, and they made it all the way to the finals now. Now you have, in the NHL, in the hockey, you have the Florida Panthers, led by Matthew Tkachuk, and these guys are getting busy. They're getting busy. They upsetting dreams. They took out the Boston Bruins, and let's take the Boston Bruins in how many games? We're gonna say just few. First round. Took the Boston Bruins in the first round. Okay, that was very upsetting for a lot of folks to see these guys take out the Boston Bruins, you know, the way that they did, and to see guys like David Pasternak go down after having such a successful season. They took out the Boston Bruins in 7 games. Boston didn't go down without a fight. However, when you have guys on your team like Verhassi, did I say his name right? Verhassi or Verhassi, and Matthew Tkachuk, things are going to get pretty greasy on that ice. It's not easy. Them guys are very determined. They took out Boston, ran through Toronto, and then finally they made their way up, staying on the street so they can be all that they can be, and made it all the way to the finals against the Vegas Golden Knights, who had a little run themselves, making it through teams like the Hurricanes, the Carolina Hurricanes, which was eliminated by the Panthers also, But the Vegas Knights, they made it after getting through teams like the Dallas Stars, which we know the Dallas Stars were supposed to be all of that. After, you know, they got past the Kraken, Dallas was excited. But after Dallas defeated Seattle, that didn't have anything to do with what was going to take place in the next round. So this is where we at right now in the Stanley Cup with the Vegas Golden Knights, and you have the Florida Panthers. Because the Florida Panthers, these guys have been having this Cinderella season, And it's been something special so much that you had to kind of pay attention to them and see who they are. This Florida team down there, I think they were out of Boca Raton. Or which one of these, where is this team located? I know the Florida Panthers, either way, the state of Florida, or wherever they are, regardless, they've been held with respect because Florida celebrates their teams and they're just happy to win. So that's the hockey news. That's where they at for right now. I really think that Matthew Tkachuk and these guys deserves it because Jack Etchell and Mark Stone have been getting crazy on the ice, getting real slippery with it, and it's been, clashing and banging and a lot of foof, hockey stick, banging on the glass, a lot of mean moments. Glad nobody head didn't get break, while they out there going all the way for that chip. Because right now it seems like it can be a Florida championship. The Vegas Knights look good too, I'm not going to lie, with Jack Etchell. So it's going to be Etchell and Matthew Tkachuk going at it. These guys should be good. Right about now, they're having a pretty good series, the way they're looking. They're going to play game 1 tonight. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals is tonight at 8 o'clock. You're going to look for Jack Etchell and Jonathan Marchessault to get busy along with Mark Stone against Matthew Tkachuk, Carter Verhaeghe, and the rest of the squad. That's very faithful, loyal, and they seem to be consistent. So I don't see them being afraid to play anybody. I do think that who's going to pull that off, I wouldn't be surprised if Florida does it. But Jack Etchell's looking pretty strong. He's very aggressive. Check these things out. Check out some of the NHL replays. Look at our social media. We have some highlights on DonBoy718 on Instagram and on Facebook, all right? And on YouTube. Now, as far as the NFL goes, we know that there have been in the NFL some outside the lines training, OTAs they call it. This is for voluntary training, voluntary practices. It is very helpful for teammates to show up to these voluntary practices so that they can gel and learn new formulas for the team to be better in the oncoming season. There was talk in some things about Stephon Diggs not showing up yet to Bills practice, but this is just voluntary practice. It doesn't take away from the man's character because he's still that hard worker that we know ever since he was on the Chargers. Now he's over here and he's doing this thing and he's in Buffalo and he's still playing hard. So with him not showing up to a practice, I'm not going to hold that against this man. I'm not going to hold it against Stephon Diggs because there are guys out here. Let's see if dudes like Odell Beckham Jr. start showing up to voluntary practice. You have had some that's around the league who has been showing up early. Aaron Rodgers doesn't necessarily show up usually to the early practices now with with it being voluntary, put it like that. So Aaron Rodgers has been showing up so that he can show that he is serious with this New York Jets team and what he plans to bring. As the leader and the guy that's here, he wants to get off to a real good start. He knows he's new, but he's not new to the game. He's new to the team. So therefore, this team should be very happy that you have a prolific player like this on your team, real good guy, that is going to be able to lead your team, and he's showing up. showing true leadership, being there for voluntary practices instead of him just waiting until the mandatory practices happen. Why wait for the mandatory practices when you're the guy? You want to see what's happening from beginning to end so you have your hands on things to be able to make sure that this system operates well. And my hat goes off to Aaron Rodgers for that, because that's very, very important to do. Some superstars, they choose and elect not to be in the early practices. However, right now, if you turn on the screen or you go on NFL.com, you can go and check out what day some of your team or what day your favorite team is going to have their voluntary practices. And they're going to air it. It's going to be on the air because this is important. These guys want to get better, okay? And there's a new season that's starting. I believe the football season starts on September, I want to say September 9th. But I'll get that actual date for you by next week's show. But I believe that September 9th is when the NFL is supposed to start. We're looking good. We're expecting things here in New York. You know, with not just Aaron Rodgers and him teaming up with dudes like Sauce Gardner, you know, and the New York Jets, and this Gang Green team being real special. We're pretty sure that Woody Johnson is happy with what he's paying for over there. The Jets still should have had that stadium in Queens. It would have been all that special and closer for folks to reach to also at the same time. But they're still in the MetLife Stadium sharing with the Giants. However, there are two different entities, and the Giants are looking real good. We have pickups, and we made some off-season moves that helps us also. And that allows us to look good. Okay? The Buffalo Bills made some moves. The Buffalo Bills, they're going to have DeMar Hamlin back. That's a blessing, and he's been cleared for play. So he can be on the field. However, they have to find some kind of way to prevent what happened last time and know that he's going to be okay while he's out there playing, because that was a scare. If you was watching that Monday Night Football game and you see this young man went down and he was out for a couple days, you know, that was pretty scary. And thank goodness God blessed him and he's back up. You know, he's back in the world. They saying he's cleared to play again. And so that Buffalo defense is looking real serious. So Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, they shouldn't have much to worry about on the defensive end. So while they're on the offense and running things, they can be able to feel free to get the job done. Because New York wants to win. Can't believe the way that they went out last year. This past season. The New York Giants with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, the Giants have re-signed him. They've given him a contract for more years. However, they still playing around twiddling their thumbs with this Saquon Barkley situation. They know they need Saquon Barkley. Where else are we going to get a quality running back? Somebody that knows how to move, knows how to maneuver on the field. He can take the hits. He knows the game plays. He knows the playbook from front to back. He's a real good guy. This is a 1,000-yard or more guy here. Maybe even 1,200. Saquon turns it on. When he came from Penn State and the Giants drafted him, we knew he was the guy because he was already getting busy in college. And he came in with the ambition and the willingness to learn and do what he's supposed to do. So then, therefore, Stephon Diggs, that helps a lot. Helps a lot to build that team. Now, back to the Giants. I think that, well, we was talking about the Giants, I'm sorry. Back to the Giants in the manner of we have to ensure better play from Darius Slayton this year and Isaiah Hodgins. Isaiah Hodgkins is going to help us get busy on the offense, which is what we need, because we have to put up more points. Put up more points this year than you did last year in every game. Like, be more consistent and have a program that works. Football is a tough sport. Football is a very tough sport. And next week, we're going to have a little more information about it. Next week, we're going to have a special guest also. We're going to have a real good show for you next week. So we're going to take our time throughout the month of June to really get into some NFL business, because by July, they should already be into their mandatory practices and preseason is starting, you know. So we're going to take a break and get into some NBA talk. Also around the league, before we finish up on the NFL talks, the San Francisco 49ers, okay, they're over there dealing with their new dilemma of who to start for quarterback between Trey Lance and Sam Darnold. And this is a toss-up. I mean, they might as well let Trey Lance finish what he had going on last year before the man got hurt. But Sam Darnold, I don't really see Sam Darnold being a winner. He started with the Jets. He was the top pick. They put resources behind him. He didn't do that great. He went down there to Carolina after talking all this hype talk in New York about what he's going to do and what he could bring to the team. He didn't produce in Carolina. Now he's out of there. He's on San Francisco, reuniting with Christian McCaffrey. However, Christian McCaffrey is already sewn into this San Francisco system, and I think he would fare better playing alongside Trey Lance instead of playing with this man again. Sorry, Sam Darnold. I don't think you should be starting in San Francisco. So let's take a break, get into some NBA news before we wrap up for the day, because it's real great out there. The weather's beautiful. I know y'all out there catching some sun, catching some rays, rolling up some haze, cooking breakfast, still drinking mimosas to start your day. It's a Saturday. You know how Saturdays get when they get hot. Come on, let's do it. Back in the building, Don Boy 718. Yeah, let's get it. NBA talk, man. Been a lot going on. Okay, you had from the beginning a lot happening from the play-ins. The play-in tournaments gave a lot of these teams an extra week of rest in between when the regular season ended to when the playoffs is about to officially start more. The play-in, even though it's right before the actual playoffs, it's a part of the system because it's the play-in tournaments, and then you have the first round. The play-in tournament takes teams that are ranked 7 through 10. So now teams, instead of getting cut off at 8, number 9 and 10 has a shot to make the playoffs by playing in a tournament style form of play, one and you're done in the NBA's play-in tournament. The LA Lakers went through it, and they took care of Minnesota and the business that they had to, and they took the 8th spot in the West. In the East, you had, also the Golden State Warriors came from the play-in tournament also. But you had, on the East, you had the Miami Heat. Well, a lot of folks counted out as being bums or just over because Bam Adebayo had not been playing at the greatest level throughout the year. Jimmy Butler was there. They had some injuries. Tyler Hero and some guys going through some things. Duncan Robinson and the boys struggling. However, you have now the success of that play-in tournament, taking them from the bottom all the way up to the NBA Finals, to the championship now. You have the team from the bottom on the East, and you have the team that's been holding it down as number 1 in the West, being the Denver Nuggets. because Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray and them brothers over there, they've been balling out all year, the whole season, consistently, even through the playoffs to now to the championship. So there's a difference in what each team is sort of expected to bring. However, there is expectation because of what Miami has achieved also. Denver is the favorite. Who's to say what Miami has up their sleeves? What kind of tricks or dirty little, games they want to play. But we already know a little bit right now, just in seeing how Miami want to make some adjustments to their roster. I don't know if many of you realize that they still have Udonis Haslem there, and I think he's more than just an honorary member. He's about 40 years old, and he's still there on the roster. They're not playing him, and the Miami Heat, they have guys that have playoff experience. They've been there last year playing against Boston. They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost against Boston. Boston went and lost to the Golden State Warriors. Then you have the other year when Miami went to the NBA Finals, and they were taken out. They wasn't ready. Jimmy wasn't ready. However, we knew that there was something going on in Miami, and that these dudes, they were bringing that attention and they were bringing that chance to win to Miami. However, they were slaughtered, and they didn't win that championship, And so here we are in present day, 2023. You have a confident playoff Jimmy Butler versus the Joker. The Joker has he's already won 2 league MVPs. He would have had a third, I believe, this year. However, so many people would have had just a problem with one person winning 3 in a row. And this man just out of nowhere, he would have been just somebody else that they would have had another problem with, like LeBron. When you achieve greatness sometime in the league at such a high level, people, they either love you or they'll hate you because they want their favorite player to shine. And some folks did not know exactly who Nikola Jokic was, the Joker. Although they watching the game, you're not seeing how great that this guy is on this court. He's really, truly the best big man in the NBA right now. He is very dedicated to what he do. Besides Russell Westbrook and LeBron, he's the other triple-double guy you got to watch out for. He's a threat completely universally on the basketball court, and he brings up players that's around him. That's why Jamal Murray, both of these guys, they had 10 assists, but they had double-doubles the other day, but they both had 10 assists. That's something different. That's a league record. That's historical. Because you never had in the NBA 2 players make their NBA Finals appearance at debut and have 10 assists. There's never been 2 guys at the same time making a debut on the same team and come up with 10 assists, which means that they was moving the ball, getting their teammates involved, and keeping that chemistry going. They want to win. That's why they won game 1. They could have won by a larger margin. However, now these guys are just trying to secure and put themselves in place to get this NBA championship. I think it's very well worth it. It's a great idea. The whole team is with it. They still have Reggie Jackson on the bench, who they have not played much of. They've been getting great production from guys like, Bruce Brown and Michael Porter Jr. Denver's looking to try to win. They going for it. Miami, Jimmy Butler, he hasn't been getting the help from where he might have wanted or thought it would come from, but he's been getting it in the form of Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin. Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin played bigger parts to aiding Jimmy Butler's run with the Miami Heat and take them further more than Duncan Robinson. And well, Tyler Hero's been hurt lately. They thinking he might make a return for game 2 because they need all their weapons if they're going to try to have a shot to win against the Denver Nuggets. Because Bam Adebayo, it's like you don't know what you're going to get each night right now when this guy is on the court. Some nights he's better than others. And he's been playing trash. Some folks don't have the greatest things to say about this man because he's a light playing big man in the NBA, in the league of professionals. So when you have such an important run like this that's taking place, this is a historic run altogether. Denver wasn't in the NBA Finals before. Miami, you have Miami there. Denver versus Miami. It may not be the big market games or the big market series that we would have loved to have if it was like LA and Boston. But we have Denver and Miami. And this is good basketball here. This is what we want to be entertained with, right? So we're going to see what happens out here in the finals, because I believe Nikola Jokic, he's going to have another triple-double. Next game, I see Jamal Murray definitely with 30 points or more. They're at home. They're serious. They got to, stick the fork in it, early. Go up 2 games, because that's very important before going back to Miami. Denver has to go up 2 games, and they have to show the world that they've arrived. Many folks may think already and believe that Denver has arrived, and I think they have too, but this is their arrival with an NBA championship to give the Joker something he needs to solidify his career. And he's done this much younger than the likes of Dirk Nowitzki, the likes of Kevin Garnett, and a few other players throughout league history where this man he's been compared to. So I just say give the Joker his. The best way, the only way we can really get things going. We don't want to play with it. We want to get things done, get things started. So I think that what we need to do is actually take some time to realize how important this NBA playoffs is. And there's been a lot of action happening, a lot of tempers from when Dillon Brooks was going at it with LeBron with the Memphis Grizzlies. I think that was it round 1? No. Yeah. Well, Dillon Brooks, he goes from battling with LeBron and showing a lot of confidence in putting energy into the game to being, looked at in a negative way, to the facts of even with the Memphis Grizzlies, they parted ways with him. However, he can still be a valuable piece to a lot of teams in the NBA. Because a guy like Dillon Brooks that can play defense and play at that level, he should not be canned from the league. Should not be canned from the league at all. I say give this guy another shot. Someone should pick him up. I would love to see Brooklyn go after Dillon Brooks. The New York Knicks or the Brooklyn Nets, somebody in the metropolitan area, go after Dillon Brooks. Bring him here. He has that attitude and, that style of play that we need. That's our Charles Oakley right there, So we have now Denver being real heavily favored to win this NBA championship, because you got to look at the facts, man. Come on now. And then you have Miami Heat, the Miami Heat by Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra's been around for a while. Ever since they hired this man from that film room down in Miami, the Miami Heat has been using this man to develop this team, but he has had help. He's had Pat Riley over him, so we know how Pat Riley gets down, and Pat Riley knows good players. He knows how the system goes. Since his days back with Magic Johnson and these guys on the Lakers, Pat Riley knows how it goes. So it's no question about what's to be expected. We know Miami's going to give it their all because Pat doesn't settle for just anything. And if he puts a product out there on the court, it's going to be somewhat of a good product. It's not going to be the worst. It's not going to be trash because it's Pat Riley's stamp of approval on it. He has a long track record. But I think that in Denver, Coach Malone is on his game and he knows what he's doing. He's had these guys playing such a beautiful system, and with his moves that he's been making, bench players, giving players a rest, rotating players, it's worked out real great to his benefit. And with the fact that you have players there that's ready to play and to give it their all. Each game. The whole season, Denver has been consistent. All the way up to this point, they just flat out deserve to get this championship right now. We're going to see what happens Monday, I believe, is the next game. Game 2. So we're going to see what happens. Sunday, tomorrow. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock is going to be game 2. And we're going to see what happens here with Denver bringing that energy and seeing if Jimmy Butler and all the smack talk, because after they got past Boston, or while they were in their Boston series, Miami seemed real confident and had a lot of stuff to say. Back and forth, it was just happening. People mocking each other and so forth. But the only thing that matters is who brings home the Larry O'Brien trophy, that NBA championship trophy. And I think it's going to be Denver. I think it's going to be Denver. I seriously do. Nikola Jokic, he's been doing pretty good as far as some numbers this year. Nikola Jokic, game 1, he went all out. He did some things, Jimmy Butler, he only had 13 points in game 1. Bam Adebayo had a better game than Jimmy Butler in game 1. At least Bam Adebayo, he had 25 and 13. They wanted more from him, but he played a decent game. That's the most you could probably get from Bam right now. So you got to take that and run with it. But Jimmy had 13. They found a way to contain him on 6 for 14 shooting. Gabe Vincent hit 5 threes. I don't know if he's going to do that in this next game. They're going to allow that. But you have the emergence of Aaron Gordon. Y'all know Aaron Gordon. This guy's been putting in work for the longest too. A lead contributor. And this guy, he's just been, really consistent with Denver. Averaging in the last 10 games about 14 points and 6 rebounds. That's Aaron Gordon. In game 1, he showed up, and he did that. 16 points, 1 block, 1 assist, 6 rebounds. Michael Porter Jr. did his part, 14 and 13 with 2 blocks. And you know what the Joker did? He had a triple-double, 27, 14, and 10. with a block. Jamal Murray, he could have had a triple-double, but he had 26 and 10. Kyle Lowry, the veteran on the Miami Heat, he only had 11 points and 5 assists. Now, when you look at these things, and even Bruce Brown off the bench for Denver, you see what I mean? The guy had 10 and 5 with 2 assists. These guys are coming to win. Miami is trying to style and have something to prove, but Denver is coming to win. Denver is doing what they're supposed to do. You know, they're coming in there at a pace that is hard to stop. It's hard to stop. A tiger cannot stop a bull. And these Denver Nuggets are like bulls running that tiger. So you got to give the credit to the Denver Nuggets for making this happen and getting busy. We're going to talk more about this next week. By the time we get up together next week, though, they'll already be at Game 4. Game 4 that Friday, and it's going to be interesting to see. Interesting to see. Game 4 is going to be Friday, so we're going to have 3 more games, and then I'm going to be able to tell you guys a much deeper analysis. Check out Don Boy 718 on YouTube, and don't forget to look at us on Facebook and Instagram, because during the week I'm going to be giving you guys analysis and information and news about the league and other sports leagues as well, not just the NBA. And we're going to be on point and following what's happening in this NBA Finals, because this is clearly a special NBA Finals, and we want to stay on top of it. So with that being said right there, to Don Boy 718 to the world, we're getting ready to close up shop here and tell everybody to check out our episodes on newtownradio.com and also on our website or our social media. You can see Don Boy 718. Okay? Check out our YouTube channel, Facebook, and once again, Instagram. Peace, love, and greatness to everybody. We're going to try to do well out there. All right? Be blessed.